When the current incumbent of the throne of England married his bride, Princess Diana, he did an interview. It's very famous. David Baddiel's talked about it, maybe done a program about it. They said, "And you love each other?" And Diana says, "Oh yes," and she clearly does. She's been told to love this man, so she is, and she's really, really loving the love. She can feel it. Charles says, "Whatever love means." So what does love mean? I think it's an important thing. If we could nail this one, if we could put some kind of definition around it, would really help us. And so in terms of romantic love, which was what this was about, I've learned something about it, and I'm currently engaged in this experiment to see if it works. So it's a cold-blooded way to a hot heart and a hard cock. On the day when I met my wife, in December last year, I fell in love with her immediately. And on the second day, on the phone, I wanted to go and see her. She wouldn't let me for various reasons, and I felt she was careless with my heart immediately. Over something I told her, and so I went, "Oh, fuck off! No, stupid old fool, no fool like an old fool." And so I said, "No, I'm not doing this." Right? So in my head, I went, "No, fuck off, finished." And then I ran through this scenario in my head about how I felt about her at that moment. Bearing in mind, I'm at the height of a narcissistic love bomb venture about to be launched that my behaviour does. That I can only watch and see what happens, because it does it. It finds a source and it love bombs. Now, I went through this thought and I thought, okay, are you just repeating this pattern again, Martin, where you end up being horrible and just sucking energy, not abusive in a brutal way, but just sucking, being negative. And so I decided that I was going to love her anyway, whether she went out with me or not. Oh, she dumped me. That's right, she dumped me. And so I said, here's my heart. Do what you want with it. You love me or don't love me, I don't care. I'm going to love you. And I laid that down in a voice message, I suspect, in writing, to her on day two, definitely day two. And then I went through my behaviour went through its processes, and as it did, and as Louise will tell you about it, went through its usual processes. But all the time, my instincts were to get away from this. Just get away from this somehow. You keep digging in deeper, you just get away. I would anchor myself back at that moment where I chose to love her and made a vow to do so. So I vowed to love her regardless of whether she loved me or not. And I thought, well, you can stand on that or not stand on it. And if you meant it, then you can act on it. If you didn't mean it, then you can bin it off. So you've got a choice. Who are you? Are you the character who makes vows to beautiful princesses and then breaks them? Or are you the guy that makes vows to beautiful princesses and keeps them? And so in the story that I'm telling myself, I'm that guy. I'm the honourable guy. So I chose to do the honourable thing and just keep going and see where the story went. And that there's been moments since this understanding of that I can anchor myself back to that moment of maximum love, that it lives in me again. I experience this rush of emotion and love like the moment I met her, because I'm going back there again. It's almost like I can reach the memory, put it back inside myself, into my body, and it can react in that way. And it's how certainly I stand on that vow. And so that I'm making it here, and the rest of my life, that's my woman, regardless whether she loves me or not. But in so doing, it's freed me from this behaviour. I've made the behaviour work for me all of a sudden. So that what I'm saying is all the love bombing I did, I meant it. And so I'm going to sustain that love bombing or return to that moment of the love bomb and do it again and understand what it's all about, using it to fuel my heart, because it lives in true love, because that's where I choose to put it in every moment. And so my relationship at the moment is wonderful. I'm so in love with my wife. Yeah, all right, it's 6 months, but I was going to bin her off, so many times because of this negative and this behaviour. But because by choosing, no, I'm an idiot. You'll never get a woman like that again. It's ridiculous. She's just so fantastic. And that's so I'm choosing it. Do you get it? That it's not about feeling how I feel now. It's about me choosing to feel how I know I really feel about Louise the day I met her. And if this is a successful relationship for me, the best I've ever had. And I'm sorry for all the people in the past that I've hurt and upset. I love you. I hope we're all on this journey together. And that we can all achieve this kind of understanding about love. Because if we can understand something about love, romantic love, we can understand something about love of nature. If we can understand something about love of nature, we're linking the two, we'll see ourselves in this beautiful loop of love, live as love, and the future will begin. That's why it's important. And so the current incumbent of the throne better have fucking worked it out by now, because he's representative of the Church of England. If the head of the Church of England can't explain to me what love is, he better get off that throne and give it to someone who knows what to do with it. Let love rule. Follow the Rebel King.